Yo, nobody wants to talk about it, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about this green leaf dog right here. This Pokemon has not felt fear since its release. It's dodged so many nerfs and so many patches. There's been times it's been oppressive since the release of the game. I feel like it just escapes every single patch. Like, even through a couple of nerfs that it had, the Pokemon just remains like one of the most oppressive speedsters in the game. And it's not because it's yeah, its damage is strong. Its kit is fucking insane. It's insane. It's insane because you have the option to be an assassin where you could full commit and you could get out because aerial ace gives you two dashes, or you could be like a hybrid attacker speedster where you're playing Solar Blade and all you got to do is poke them out all game till you're ready to full commit. And Solar Blade doesn't see as much play. The higher usage is Razor Leaf, aerial ace, and that's kind of what I'm going to focus on today, right? Because I just feel like that set is arguably still one of the most oppressive move sets inside of this game. And in 5 stacks, Leafeon does feel like it can be a little bit countered, it can be played around, but in solo, duo, trio, this thing can dominate the map. This thing could win ranked games. This thing, if you lose on Leafeon, it's because you just suck at playing early game. Straight up. If you're good at playing your early game inside of this game, especially when you're playing solo queue, bro, you're a level 8 by 8 minutes. You are killing things on the map. You get the jungle, you get kills on gank, you get so much value, you get stacks. There's just so much that you could get. And like my biggest gripe with it is how much damage that you could give off. And not only that there's so much damage, it's how fast. Sometimes it's just too fast to where you can't even react to it. Any Pokemon like Latios, Mewtwo, like Zoroark could get out of it because they have dashes, whatever. But like all those squishy Pokemon just get hundreds of zeroed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just get one tap, you get taken down. And like most people are running this with X attack. So not only that they're taking down squishy targets, now they're able to fight the bulkier ones. Now they're able to fight the Charizards when they don't have Unite. They're able to fight the Blazikins. They're able to fight the Metagross. Like they're able to use the X attack to burst down tanks, all-rounders, speedsters, attackers, supporters. It doesn't matter. When you're in solo queue, duo queue, trio queue, Leafeon is arguably the most dominant Pokemon that is on the map. I don't care. Prove me wrong. If you think there's another Pokemon that is more dominant, put it down in the comments and let me know. If you think there's a Pokemon that's more dominant in solo queue than Leafeon, put it in the comments and let me know. And we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll put a video out on it. I don't know. Who knows? If you have a really good Pokemon and a really good argument, we'll review it. We'll look at it. We'll talk about it. I love to talk because I love discussing with people. I love leaving room open for discussion for other people to come and interact because, like, bro, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. There's so much things that you could learn just from sitting down and choosing to close your mouth and listen. And every single time that I've had the opportunity to learn, it's because I chose to sit down, be quiet, and just listen. Sometimes when I'm in the room, I like being the quietest person in the room. I like being observant. And the reason being is because you get to observe how other people are, how other people react, how people act towards and interact with other people. And truthfully, believe it or not, the same thing applies in Unite. If you're observant and you observe how your teammates play and you observe the map and how the enemies are playing, you're able to make decisions based on the information that you gathered, based on the report that you built. There's just so many things that comes down to like decision making that makes Leafeon so good. Because yeah, you have good damage, but like if you're able to make good decisions while having that good damage, Leafeon in the right hands will make your games feel like they're unplayable. You'll feel like you can't breathe. You'll feel like you can't leave your side of the map. Like there's no way with X attack we're able to one-shot Buzzwole. We're able to kill Zacian. Like there's just no way we could kill tanks like Slowbro with our cooldowns. And it's just like there's just no speedster that should be bursting down bulky targets like that. Not a single one. Not Zoroark, not Dodrio, not Leafeon, maybe Absol because Absol's crit based. But even so, Absol's not one tapping an all-rounder off of crit. while Leafeon full combo is. It's insane. It's crazy. And like most people are pairing this X attack with attack weight, with bracer, with razor claw, with energy amp. There's just like you have 4 items that you could rotate in between Leafeon that will just make its damage just overbearing. And I feel like it's dodging these nerves. It's just kind of like Pokemon, to me, or Pokemon's way of saying F you. Figure it out. Learn how to play. But I also feel like if you do take away anything with Leafeon's kit, it would take away its like early game. And it's an early game Pokemon. It spikes at level 4. Can there be ways in its kit that can be like worked around to where it can feel a little bit less oppressive, to where it's not just dominating the early game? They did map nerfs, like they nerfed that XP on the map. So when you're taking jungle, rather than getting the Zaltu at the last second at 9:45 and then doing your red buff or your blue buff, it doesn't get you level 4 anymore. So they have nerfed Leafeon in ways, it might not be within its kit. They've done it within other things around the map by nerfing items, nerfing farm, to make its gameplay slow down just a little bit rather than playing at the speed that it was before. And it's like, attack weight, every stack matters. And if you're running an oppressive early game, you have your full bracer stacks. Energy Amp gives you extra damage after you press your Unite move. And then Razor Claw does so much damage with your boosted auto. Just so much damage. I don't have the numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. I just honestly just play the game because I enjoy playing the game. Even while playing competitive, I wasn't a numbers guy. I wasn't. I left that to my teammates. But what I was good at, I was good at decision making and macro and making sure everybody was in the right spot. So that way we can make the plays. Another problem that I have with Leafeon is this constant mobility spamming. There's no reason Leafeon can dive in, get stunned in CC, and still find a way to make its way out. You have 2 dashes that barely go on cooldown. You can run away from almost anything on the map that's not a sure hit. Nothing can catch you. And not only that, when you do have your boosted, your chlorophyll and it's full, you get a mobility boost until you use your next auto, which you use at your discretion. Unless you're just spamming A or B on everything that you fight. But being able to just be that mobile around the map, you're able to go run the bottom, you're able to do, this is ideally what you can do as Leafeon. You can run top to a team fight, ult the team fight, run down to the opposite lane, score, do the opposite objective, invade the jungle, get your Unite back just to go back top again to cycle it over again. And you could just do that with Leafeon on cooldown. And I think if we nerf its Unite timer, I feel like the mobility spamming won't be as bad, because the whole reason why people are roaming the map like that is because they like taking advantage of map position. So like, while I do think this is a problem, because like, yeah, speedsters should be able to go in and do big burst damage, but like if they're going into a position where they're full committing, they shouldn't be able to get back out. Unless they're just like that. But Leafeon is so brain dead that they're able to just get back out. Zoroark, once it does his combo, cannot get back out unless it has its Shadow Claw or Cut Up. Dojo, once it full commits, it cannot get back. Dojo is probably the one speedster to get back out. What are the other speedsters? Rapidash? Oh, shoot. Let's not look at these. Absol. Like, once these Pokemon full commit, they're there. They are there. Absol, if it misses a pursuit reset, it's cooked. You're there. Absol, if it misses his other Night Slash or whatever, it's cooked. You're stuck. Gengar, if he misses his Dream Eater while out of position, it's cooked. Dodrio, if it misses his high jump kick, it's cooked. Zoroark, if he misses a combo, it is cooked. Leafeon, if you messes up its cooldowns, double dash, get away. You already have an oppressive early game that just dominates everybody. So you're telling me you need that, plus the ability to get away even if you make a mistake? You don't need a comfy for that. You don't need teammates for that. You have it all inside of your kit to where you don't need anybody. And I feel like Pokemon that have everything in its kit are the best Pokemon to play, especially when you're playing solo queue, because you don't have to rely on your teammates. And Leafeon is one of those Pokemon that can provide so much pressure in the early game that it doesn't matter what happens in the game, because they're going to be pulling people to their side of them, or to the enemy side of the map, to prevent them from pushing because of how much pressure they're applying. And being able to just show vision and then disappear and then show up on another side of the map without the enemy even knowing, insane. Insane. I know every speedster can do that, but my biggest gripe is being able to just spam your mobility cooldowns when something's chasing you and unpunished. You're able to go full commit, use your ult, use your Razor Leaf, and then just double dash right on out. It's crazy. And then it's other big thing, like the biggest thing that we've been talking about is it's like heavy snowball potential. This thing, if you're playing Leafeon, you dictate how the game is going to go, especially if you're playing a jungle. If you're playing Leafeon, I never, ever, 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 ever want to see my Leafeon clearing jungle. Ever. The full clear? No. Because all you need is your level 4 and then go gank a lane and get an advantage. The problem I see with like a lot of people who play Leafeon is that they'll do a full clear on the jungle, and then by the time it's time for gank, the enemy team already got their farm and already got what they needed to go and catch up. They got everything that they needed. So just go and get the whole point of playing Leafeon so you could start getting on, so you could get online early and start pressing through. If you're playing a level 5 speedster like Dojio, Zoroark, Absol, Talonflame, it's understandable. Completely understandable. But like Leafeon, you have a level 4 spike. It just comes through, gets Satu, Baltoy buff, straight into lane, kill. You used to be able to go jungle invade. You can't do that anymore due to the changes, like we said earlier. But like, there's just it being able to snowball the game. Like I said, I would play this Pokemon, and this is my solo queue carry. This is the Pokemon that I use where if I want to win the first 8 minutes of the game, this is what I'm playing, and I'm coming out with at least 15 kills. At least. On the games that I say that I want to win the game. I'm going after the targets, I'm going after the jungle, I'm going after the lane farm, I'm cleaning up fights, I'm catching picks. I am doing everything to throw the enemy team off their tempo so they cannot play the game. Because I already know my teammates aren't going to do anything. And I'm just an average player, to be honest, maybe a little bit above average. But as you can see, we have a 75% win rate on Leafeon this season, and this is specifically because of Snowball. Sometimes the games don't even make it to the Ray fight. Sometimes they surrender, which is insane. They surrender because of how much pressure was applied in the early game. You get your Unite move at level 8. Most Pokemon get it at level 9. Not only that, once you get level 6, you're dominating. You're killing whatever. The under-level jungle, especially after a gank, go kill the jungle again, and now it's cooked. It's your game. You're level 8 by 8-minute birds and ulting whatever you want. And then gonna go farm and go have an ult again at 7 minutes. It's insane. It's insane how heavy this Pokemon can snowball. I don't know. There's some of my friends, they think Leafeon's balanced. They think that, it can be countered. Well, yes, every Pokemon can be countered. But when you're playing solo queue, some Pokemon are a lot harder to counter than others. Like, for example, Delphox is a lot easier to counter than Mewtwo. Blaziken is a lot easier to counter than Charizard sometimes. Especially, like, if you can stop both of them, that's actually a bad example. Let me think of an all-rounder. Buzzwole is kind of harder to counter to Blaziken. Buzzwole is harder to counter than Blaziken. Holy shit, I cannot fucking speak today. But yeah, Buzzwole, because of how early game it is, it's a lot harder to counter than it would be to counter Blaziken, because Blaziken's early game is bad and it thrives within the late game, right? So Leafeon, compared to the other speedsters, it thrives early. Compared to the other ones, they thrive throughout the mid game. Because that's what speedsters are there for. Tempo, creating the pace, setting the pace, making sure that you're not on your heels, but the enemy is on their heels. So, yeah, let me know what you think. A lot of my friends say that Leafeon isn't oppressive. They say that, it can be countered, cool, whatever. Yeah, it could be countered. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. That case can be made for every Pokemon. But when you're playing solo queue, like I said, Some are more oppressive than others. And Leafeon is one of those Pokemon that are more oppressive than others that are a lot harder to counter if you're outside of coordinated play. Because we've all been there when we've been in our solo queue games and we've all been attacked by Leafeon. We've all been dove by Leafeon. We've all watched the Leafeon dominate games. We've all watched it in front of our faces. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll catch you later.